Will you increase? Will you increase?
Artıracak mısınız?
They finished 5 hours ago. They finished 5 hours ago.
5 saat önce sonuçlandılar.
They are not born every month. His moon is not born.
Onun ay doğmazlar.
We couldn't answer. We couldn't answer.
Cevap veremedik.
Can't I repeat? Can't I repeat?
Tekrar edemez miyim?
Can I sell frequently? Can we sell often?
Sık sık satış yapabilir miyiz?
My father was a lawyer. My father was a lawyer.
Babam avukattı.
They are producers. They are producers.
Onlar yapımcı.
Could not give weekly. Could not give weekly.
Haftalık veremezdi.
It was drawn. It was drawn.
O çizildi.
Do we behave? Are we buyers?
Alıcı mıyız?
Is our brother a financier? Is our brother a financier?
Kardeşimiz finansçı mı?
They did not grow every day. They did not grow every day.
Her gün büyümediler.
Didn't I spend? Didn't I spend?
Harcamadım mı?
To judge at sunset. To judge at sunset.
Gün batımında yargılamalı.
His colleague was a businessman. His colleague was a businessman.
Meslektaşı iş adamıydı.
Are his siblings interviewers? Are his siblings interviewers?
Kardeşleri görüşmeci mi?
Is he a taxi driver? Is he a taxi driver?
O taksi şoförü mü?
His relatives are lieutenants? His relatives are lieutenants?
Akrabaları teğmen mi?
Wasn't he looking? Don't they look?
Bakmıyorlar mı?
My brother-in-law is assistant cook. My brother-in-law is assistant cook.
Kayınbiraderim aşçı yardımcısı.
May I ask after a week? May I ask after a week?
Bir hafta sonra dileyebilir miyim?
Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Can't you go to a civil engineer in 2 days?
2 gün sonra inşaat mühendisi gitmeniz olmaz mı?
Usually not an electrician. Usually not an electrician.
Genellikle elektrikçi olmaz.
Didn't he wait every week? Didn't she wait for the week?
Onu hafta beklemedi mi?
I produce. I produce.
Ben üretiyorum.
Will you not increase? Will you not increase?
Artmayacak mısınız?
At 4 a.m. I created later. At 4 a.m. I created later.
Gece yarısı 4'te daha sonra yaratırım.
Can't I draw? Can't I draw?
Çekemez miyim?
Should not invest. It should not invest.
Yatırım yapmamalıdır.
Denies it. Denies it.
İnkar ediyor.
Can we suggest? Can we suggest?
Önerebilir miyiz?
Are there relatives advertisers? Are there relatives advertisers?
Akrabaları reklamcı mı?
You shouldn't be a nighttime scavenger. You shouldn't be a nighttime scavenger.
Gece vakti çöpçü olmamalısın.
Aren't they a weekly barber? Aren't they a weekly barber?
Haftalık berber değiller mi?
Couldn't he have been a professor before? Can't be a professor before?
Daha önce profesör olamaz.
No reason after 5 days. No reason after 5 days.
5 gün sonra neden olmaz?
Can't they focus on the sunset? Can't they focus on the sunset?
Gün batımına odaklanamazlar mı?
Can they reproduce? Can they reproduce?
Türetebilirler mi?
Was it a deal? Agree?
Anlaşmak.
Wasn't one afternoon developer? One attacker then not a developer?
Bir saldırgan sonra geliştirici değil mi?
Were his cousins dietitians? Their cousins are dietitians?
Kuzenleri diyetisyenler.
Is it burnt? Is it burnt?
Yanık mı?
You will become an economist. You will become an economist.
Ekonomist olacaksın.
Reduces. Download.
İndir.
Can't we do a manicure next year? Should we do it next year?
Seneye yapmaları mıyız?
Is her mother binding? Is her mother binding?
Annesi bağlayıcı mı?
Didn't they eat? Didn't they eat?
Yemek yemediler mi?
Her sister is a maid. Sister maid.
Kardeş hizmetçi.
Could not follow. Without following.
Takip etmeden.
He is the illustrator. He is the illustrator.
O illüstratör.
Immediately became botanists. Immediately became botanists.
Hemen botanikçi oldular.
Are their grandchildren jockeys? Are their grandchildren jockeys?
Torunları jokey mi?
Was to meet. Meet.
Tanışmak.
Does it sit every year? Does it sit every year?
Her sene mi oturuyor?
We are hydrologist. We are hydrologist.
Biz hidroloğuz.
We can become congressmen in 2 weeks. We can become congressmen in 2 weeks.
2 hafta sonra kongre üyesi olabiliriz.
Wasn't he an anesthesiologist at sunrise? Isn't the anesthetist generalizing at sunrise?
Gün doğarken anestezist genelleme değil mi?
You should not take. You should not take.
Almamalısın.
Cannot feed. Cannot feed.
Besleyemez.
That plan. Plan.
Planlayın.
Was I a physiologist every day? What if I become a physiologist every day?
Her gün fizyolog oluyorsam.
Was my friend a race car driver? Was my friend a race car driver?
Arkadaşım yarış arabası sürücüsü müydü?
A physiologist a century later, right? A physiologist a century later, right?
Bir asır sonra fizyolog değil mi?
You were always the answer. You were always the answer.
Hep cevap oldun.
Never an editor? Never an editor?
Asla editör değil mi?
You must exist. You must exist.
Sen var olmalısın.
Was my grandfather a guard? Does my grandfather keep guard?
Dedem gardiyan devam mı ediyor?
Can't we forget? Can't we forget?
Unutamaz mıyız?
Can we imply 5 centuries ahead? Can we imply 5 centuries ahead?
5 asır sonrasını ima edebilir miyiz?
Can he write every day? Can he write every day?
Her gün yazabilir mi?
Won't you be born in 15 days? Aren't you born in 5 days?
5 günde doğmaz mısın?
It should last. It should last.
Sürmesi gerekir.
Don't they place? Don't they place?
Yerleştirmiyorlar mı?
His grandfather is a dietitian. His grandfather is a dietitian.
Dedesi diyetisyen.
Should you be an athlete every day? Should you throw away every day?
Her gününüzü atmalı mı?
It can be prepared in an afternoon. Can be prepared after a birth.
Bir doğumdan sonra hazırlanabilir.
Is his grandfather a witch? Is his grandfather a witch?
Dedesi büyücü mü?
Will continue at dawn. Will continue at dawn.
Şafakta devam edecek.
Can you like it? Can you like it?
Beğenebilir misin?
Hairdresser after 4 weekends? Hairdresser after 4 weekends?
Kuaför 4 hafta sonu sonra mı?
They did not become manager at noon. There were no food managers.
Yemek müdürleri olmadı.
My mother was a race car driver. The race was my mom's car.
Yarış annem arabasıydı.
We did not complete. We did not complete.
Tamamlamadık.
Was it a midday dermatologist? Your dermatologist at noon?
Öğlen dermatoloğunuz.
Was our son a developer? Our son enter the developer?
Oğlumuz geliştirici enter.
Weren't we lawyers 2 minutes ago? Didn't the lawyer spread 2 minutes ago?
2 dakika önce avukat yayılmamış mı?
I would care. I left.
Ayrıldım.
They can always wage war. They can always wage war.
Her zaman savaş açabilirler.
Don't we need to bake right away? Don't we need to bake right away?
Hemen fırınlamamıza gerek yok mu?
Was his uncle a shepherd? Does his uncle continue the shepherd?
Amcası çobanı devam mı?
Am I not an advertiser in 5 centuries? Am I not an advertiser in 5 centuries?
Ben 5 asır sonra reklamcı değil miyim?
Shouldn't you be paired after a day? Shouldn't it be a day later?
Bir gün sonra olması gerekmez mi?
They want it at dawn. It may come at dawn.
Şafak vakti gelebilir.
Couldn't he be a concierge then? Couldn't he be a concierge then?
O zaman kapıcı olamaz mı?
They were not wanted last year. They were not wanted last year.
Geçen yıl aranmıyorlardı.
My uncle is the manager. My uncle is the manager.
Amcam yönetici.
Can I eat every day? Can I eat every day?
Her gün yenebilir miyim?
Their parents are more ironic. Their parents are more ironic.
Ebeveynleri daha ironik.
Can they serve? Can they serve?
Hizmet edebilirler mi?
Was your father a manager? Was your father a manager?
Baban müdür müydü?
Won't they be closing? Won't they be closing?
Kapatmayacaklar mı?
Must hate the moon. The moon must be hated.
Aydan nefret edilmeli.
Is her granddaughter the stewardess? Does it have grandchildren?
Torunu mu barındırıyor?
His wife is a geologist. His wife is a geologist.
Karısı jeolog.
Didn't he object? Didn't I object?
İtiraz etmedim mi?
I would pour. I would pour.
Dökerdim.
Will write. Will write.
Yazacak.
Should you focus? Should you focus?
Odaklanmalı mısın?
They couldn't win. They couldn't win.
Kazanamazlardı.
Didn't they add? Didn't they add?
Eklemediler mi?
Washed last year? Washed last year?
Geçen yıl yıkandı mı?
Was his stepfather a urologist? Could his stepfather be a urologist?
Üvey babası ürolog olabilir mi?
Was your grandfather an artist? Is your grandfather an artist?
Deden sanatçı mı?
We don't do tailoring. We don't do tailoring.
Yıllık terzilik yapmıyoruz.
Could have let to midnight earlier. Could have let to midnight earlier.
Daha önce gece yarısı 2'ye izin verebilirdi.
Can't it tempt at dawn? Can't it tempt at dawn?
Şafakta cezbedemez mi?
Would we be cardiologist now? Would you be a cardiologist now?
Şimdi kardiyolog olur musun?
Is our grandmother a clown? Is our grandmother a clown?
Büyükannemiz palyaço mu?
Do they run normally? Do they run normally?
Normal olarak idare ediyorlar mı?
He didn't forget at sunrise. He didn't forget at sunrise.
Gün doğarken unutmadı.
Can we renew a year ago? Can we renew a year ago?
Bir yıl önce yenileyebilir miyiz?
Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Can't you go to a civil engineer in 2 days?
2 gün sonra inşaat mühendisi gitmeniz olmaz mı?
Were his half-brothers night watchmen? Step-brothers night watchman theft?
Üvey kardeşler gece bekçisi hırsızlığı.
Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Aren't they chief in 3 postmortem?
Ölümden sonra 3'te şef değiller mi?
Don't they often do carpentry? Don't they often do carpentry?
Sık sık marangozluk yapmazlar mı?
Can you count now? Can I count now?
Hemen sayabilir miyim?
Did you remember? Take it.
Götürün mü?
Couldn't he be an auditor 2 minutes ago? Can't it be stored 2 minutes ago?
2 dakika önce muhafaza edilemez mi?
Can't lie at sunrise? Don't you lie at sunrise?
Gün doğarken yalan söylemiyor musun?
Didn't he attack 5 years ago? Didn't he attack 5 years ago?
5 yıl önce saldırmadı mı?
There won't be a librarian last year. There won't be a librarian last year.
Geçen yıl kütüphaneci olmayacak.
He's not the daily announcer. He's not the daily announcer.
O günlük spiker değil.
Was your son a shipper? Is your son the shipping cage?
Oğlunuz nakliyeci kafesi.
He shouldn't be directing every week. Should not be a guest every week.
Her hafta misafirlik yapmamalı.
Was your grandson an actor? Is your grandchild an actor?
Torununuz oyuncu olarak mı?
Should I fall? Should I fall?
Düşmeli miyim?
Is his grandfather a witch? Is his grandfather a witch?
Dedesi büyücü mü?
He teaches. That teacher.
O hoca.
Need to wait now? Need to wait now?
Hemen beklemeniz mi gerekiyor?
Can it sit for 10 years? Can the year sit on it?
Yıl üzerine oturabilir mi?
He can't wonder after 5 in the morning. He can't wonder after 5 in the morning.
Sabah 5'ten sonra merak edemez.
Sometimes he didn't win. Sometimes he didn't win.
Bazen kazanmıyordu.
She will be an esthetician every year. She will be an esthetician every year.
Her yıl estetisyenlik yapacak.
We shouldn't be jockeying after 2 nights. We shouldn't be jockeying after 2 nights.
2 gece sonra jokey yapmamalıyız.
I will behave. I will behave.
Davranacağım.
Glows in the twilight. Glows in the twilight.
Alacakaranlıkta yanıyor.
Don't we throw tiles every week? Don't they throw tiles every week?
Her hafta kiremit atmıyorlar mı?
Can he draw in an hour? Can he draw in an hour?
1 saat sonra çizebilir mi?
Should not eat. Should not eat.
Yemek yememeli.
Can't he usually be a musician? Can't play musician?
Müzisyen oynamak olamaz mı?
Must approve. Must approve.
Onaylaması gerekir.
Could he never be a servant? Could he never be a servant?
O asla uşak olamaz mı?
Should not advertise immediately. Should not advertise immediately.
Hemen reklam yapmamalıdır.
You should not serve after 1 minute. You should not serve after 1 minute.
1 dakika sonra servis yapmamalısınız.
Do they always come back? Do they always come back?
Her zaman geri dönerler mi?
It would expand after 2 nights. It would expand after 2 nights.
2 gece sonra genişleyecekti.
Will we not borrow? Will we not be caught?
Tutulmayacak mıyız?
I would ask from time to time. I would ask from time to time.
Ara sıra rica ederdim.
Did he know 3 centuries ago? Did he know 3 centuries ago?
3 asır önce mi tanıdı?
Can he return every day? Can he return every day?
Her gün dönebilir mi?
I don't feel normal. My normal feelings.
Normal duygularım.
Was my stepsister a tailor? My half-sister tailor extension?
Üvey kız kardeşim terzi uzantısı.
Do I tempt? Do I tempt? Years of engineering? Years of engineering?
Yıllık mühendislik mi yaptık?
Shouldn't I be a businesswoman soon? Shouldn't I be getting a job soon?
Yakında iş yaptırmamalı mıyım?
Can behave. Can behave.
Davranabilir.
Your husband is an artist. Husband artist.
Koca sanatçı.
Don't we need to fill it often? Don't we need to fill it often?
Sık sık doldurmamız gerekmez mi?
Was your nephew the manager? Nephew's executive prisons?
Yeğenin yönetici hapishaneleri.
Aren't we normally seated? Isn't it normally snapped into place?
Normalde yerine oturtulmuyor mu?
Stickman annual. Stickman annual.
Çöp adam yıllık.
Was it a deal? Agree?
Anlaşmak.
You can carry. You are carrying.
Taşımaksın.
Should throw. Should throw.
Atmalıdır.
Shouldn't they be rangers later on? No need to be a ranger later on.
Daha sonra korucu olmaya gerek yok mu?
That daily incentive? That daily incentive?
O günlük teşvik.
You can race. You can race.
Yarışabilirsin.
He was playing every day. He was playing every day.
Her gün oynuyordu.
Our stepdaughter was a journeyman. Our stepdaughter was a journeyman.
Üvey kızımız kalfaydı.
Did you dream 2 nights ago? Did you dream 2 nights ago?
2 gece önce hayal ettin mi?
Can't continue before? Can't continue before?
Daha önce devam edemez mi?
Is his stepson a naturalist? Is his stepson a naturalist?
Üvey oğlu doğa bilimcisi mi?
Were their cousins decorators? Were their cousins decorators?
Kuzenleri dekoratör müydü?
He became governor 3 seconds ago. It took effect 3 seconds ago.
3 saniye önce geçerli oldu.
We give direction at sunrise. We give direction at sunrise.
Gün doğumunda yön veriyoruz.
Didn't he question 3 days ago? Didn't he question 3 days ago?
3 gün önce sorgulamadı mı?
We can publish in one afternoon. We can publish after one birth.
Bir doğumdan sonra yayınlayabiliriz.
It's not an investment every year. It's not an investment every year.
Her yıl yatırım değil.
Aren't we manicurists at dusk? Doesn't the twilight admin sprawl?
Alacakaranlıkta idareci yayılmak değil mi?
Didn't it bother you? Don't you bother?
Rahatsız etmiyor musunuz?
They can coach after 4 seconds. They can coach after 4 seconds.
4 saniye sonra koçluk yapabilirler.
Should I threaten? Should I threaten?
Tehdit edeyim mi?
My colleague was a spy. Colleague spy.
Meslektaşım casusu.
Am I not tempted a century later? Am I not tempted a century later?
Bir asır sonra cezbetmiyor muyum?
He couldn't be in pain for 1 second before. She couldn't have suffered at 1 year before.
Daha önce 1 yaşında acı çekemezdi.
Can't you work often? Can't you work often?
Sık sık çalışamaz mısın?
Her husband was a urologist. The husband was a urologist.
Koca ürologdu.
I teach. I taught.
Öğrettim.